It's all about the floor. I eat on the floor. I sit on the floor. I sleep on the floor. I love the floor. More light. Welcome to my world. I'm Minivan Lee, and I have lived in my minivan for 8 years, and I've got a really good question for you today, a really good subject. And you know what? It's all about the floor. I eat on the floor. I sleep on the floor. I sit on the floor. I hang out on the floor. I like the floor. No build out, and we're going to talk about this. So watch it all the way to the end, because I've got a couple good things to talk about, okay? Let's go. Okay, the floor. Let's see if we can get a good shot of the floor. Okay, let's see. Okay, the floor. This is my floor. I'm going to show you what's on my floor. Here's the question. Tilly Girl is a very curious person, okay? Lots of questions. What I am really curious about is your actual floor space. Length and width. Well, that's going to be, my rug that's at the bottom is an 8x5, but a minivan goes like this, so it's not really, yeah. Okay. And all minivans are different. They really are. I just really got to say that. Specs are all different. Okay. How do you stretch out for sleeping? I stretch out. See? I've got all this room, and I will show you the full length of it, okay? Okay, for reading, well, when I take a nap, I take my pillows, and I put them here, and I park my phone here, and I lay down, okay? And I take a nap. And when I sleep, I've got my sleeping stuff up here. I've done videos on this, and here's my sleeping bag, and I have a self-inflating pad. My bed is so comfortable. It really is. Okay, how tall are you? I'm 5'3". Are you very limber? Well, of course I am. I've done stretching, what I would consider just, like stretching yoga since I was 18. And I've had so many Christians say, oh, you should not do yoga. That is look, it's stretching, okay? And as far as meditating, praying is meditating too, okay? So, yeah, I don't get into that legalistic stuff. I stretch. The body was made to stretch, okay? And so I've been stretching for years, yeah. I am very limber. Or do you have to get out and straighten out your body a lot? No. My body's pretty straightened out, yeah. I'm in my 70s, and I think I'm in great shape because I've exercised all my life, okay? Okay, do you have a permanent thick mat on the floor, then layering for different functions, sleeping, napping, or reading, relaxing? Okay, well, and she's got more, but let's go with this. Here's what I'm going to do, Tilly Girl. Tilly Girl, I like that. I'm going to show you what's on my floor, okay? And she asked about the cold. How do I keep the cold from coming up? I've got good thick, a bottom for the floor. I've got good thickness going on. That sounded weird. I've got thickness going on down there. I couldn't think of the right word. But I will mention in Arizona, okay, the house that I lived in for 15 years before I became a nomad, it was a true built Arizona home to where they have you've got the floor, but there's a space underneath with vents on each side of the house so that air can flow through, okay? And then there's other characteristics of a true Arizona home, the way they used to build them, because it was so hot and they didn't have air conditioning or electricity at that time. Well, when the air would flow through, it does get cold in Arizona. at southern Arizona, in Tucson. It gets really cold. And, you know, I only had maybe this much thickness. And in Arizona, I will mention, in southern Arizona, you do not have carpeting. It's mostly tile. Carpeting, wall-to-wall carpeting is more of an the East Coast kind of thing, but not in the Southwest. And I didn't like carpeting anyway. It just harbors germs. Have you ever cleaned your carpet and you see what comes out? Ugh, yeah, it's pretty bad. And I have done construction work. I worked for an architect for 10 years, and we did remodeling. Do you ever see what's under the car? I don't even want to, let's not even go into it, okay? What's under that carpeting? So in Arizona, they basically have tile, not tile. Talk about a cold floor. My floor is a lot warmer than living in a house. Yeah, if you don't have regular carpeting. Now, I had area rugs for each room, but still. Okay, so let me get into this. I'm going to show you what's on my floor. And I do everything on the floor. Like I said, I have a no build out. Do you know what a build out and no build out is all about? Well, let me show you the floor and then we'll talk about that, okay? So come on back to my area here and I'll show you. Okay, so here's my pillows. I'm going to move them out of the way. Here's my little coffee nook. Yeah. Okay, so I don't know why. I just have this. This was made by somebody. I won't even go into it why, but I do keep it. Okay, here we go. Ready? This is my carpet. And remember I told you how a minivan goes like this? Well, here it's over here, but then it goes around. So you can't, the carpeting, what I did was I cut it here so that it could go up, and it goes up. Okay, now, so this is my carpeting underneath. Pretty cool, huh? I mean, it was expensive. It's thick. I mean, it's very thick. This is for a regular house. Underneath here, let me show you. Okay, here is my first layer. This is a huge beach towel. I like the blue. I spent money for it. I found it on Amazon. Very thick. And what I do is every day I take this out and I shake it outside. That's my vacuum, because I don't have a vacuum in here. I'm not going to carry one. So I keep this on the bottom. Now, there's layer one. This is the one that I shake out every day. Here's another towel, because this doesn't go all the way over. So I have one towel here that goes this way. Then I have one towel that goes this way. Okay. Now, here are some memory foam. I've got 3 of them under here. 3 memory foam rugs. Found them at Walmart. Now, let's go down here. Let me get this. Okay, now, these are my special blankets. I've had them for years and years from Mexico. Okay? Went down to Mexico and I bought them. They have really nice Mexican blankets. So I got one, and I don't want to get rid of them. I might need them. I want to keep them, and this is a dual purpose. If I ever stop being a nomad and stop van life, I have my blankets. So there's one. Ready? Isn't this a gorgeous one? It's nice and thick. It's not one of those cheap Mexican blankets. This was like almost like $60 a piece. So I got 1, 2. Now here is a blanket that I will mention. Paul got it for me. It's really fuzzy and it's very thick, but I thought I'd put it under here. Okay, so that was an addition. So this is 3. Here's another one, 4, 5. They don't take any room, and it is great padding. That's why it's so soft, sleeping on and sitting on my floor. And then I've got the rug. Let's get a good, then I've got the rug. And then under that, under here, there's actual upholstery carpeting that was put in the manufacturing of the van. Okay? So this is my flooring. Can you imagine that I would be cold? That any cold could even get up in here? Put this here. Put this here. No. And and then I've got the memory foam. And then I've got these, let me put these down right, because I'm kind of a OCD about my towels. I really am. Let me put this. Now, I haven't shaken out, it's morning, I haven't shaken this out yet, but I'm going to. Every day I shake this out. And then I've got my pillows that I put here. Right? You asked for an aerial view of my floor. Well, this is it. I mean, you can see. Okay, let me come up here. I'm up here all the way to driver's seat. Right here is where my driver's seat is. So let me give you a good shot of my floor. You wanted it. There you go. Okay. Okay, let's move on with the letter. You say, how do you keep the cold from off the floor? Well, okay, I showed you that. It doesn't get cold in here. And, okay, when I am sleeping, I have all these more layers. Oh my God, because this actually is very comfortable. It's about that thick. It's like sitting on your living room carpet, right? But I have a sleeping bag. I have a self-inflating pad. I've got, yeah, I mean, I'm cozy. It's good padding. I do fine. Don't worry about me, okay? And then can I do the aerial shot of how big it is? Yeah. Okay, well, I think that pretty much answers everything from this letter. I enjoy van life. I do not want to live in a house, not for a very long time. I'm not ready for that yet. There are so many advantages to living in my minivan. I don't pay rent. I don't have loud neighbors. I don't have to deal with crappy landlords who maybe don't want to fix the roof. They don't want to spend the money. And with my income, there's no way I could actually even rent an apartment or house in a really good neighborhood where they really do a lot of good upkeep. No, I'm going to end up in maybe iffy kind of neighborhoods, and I'm not ready for that. I've been there, done that. My last home was a good home. It was in a great area, and my landlords were wonderful. Till about the last couple years, I started getting a leaky roof. They didn't want to deal with it. They started resenting me. I started resenting them. And it was good rent. It really was good rent. So I appreciated that. But yeah, they started getting a little bit unfriendly. Not bad, but unfriendly. And then right at the end, the maintenance guy that they had hired almost killed me because he turned off my gas and then turned it back on without telling me. And I was actually being gassed, for like a good week and a half. I was very sick. Okay, and it's on my calendar. I put it on it's weird. When weird things happen, I kind of put them on my calendar. And then I do a repeat, for every year to repeat it on my calendar so I can be reminded. And I did notice, I think it's like in about 4 days, that it was like 8 years ago that I was almost gassed. I mean, I was sicker than a dog and I didn't know why. Then I finally found out. Okay, so it can be dangerous because what you're doing is you're putting your life in somebody else's hands. Now, a lot of you are homeowners. I get that. And so but you still have the expense of having to fix all these things yourself. It's expensive. I remember my daughter in Ohio telling me, this just a couple years ago, they had to do a complete on the heating and the cooling system. $12,000. It's a big home. $12,000. I mean, I would never be able to afford that. And a lot of seniors, my age, I'm 72, a lot of seniors they're barely making it on what they have coming in for Social Security or even their pensions in order to maintain the nice home that they lived in, to maintain it with the property tax and this maintaining it. They're having a hard time. Okay. So I do not want to leave this lifestyle. There's too many good points of it. There's too many pros. Yeah. I enjoyed, this is not a big space, but I do enjoy it. But that doesn't mean I'm in my minivan 24/7. Okay. Although I do spend a lot of time in here now. Yeah, I really do. Because I'm writing in the afternoon, I'm sitting here and I've got my, table my foldable table, and bring my laptop out and I'm writing. Okay. And, I write every day now. And the more you do it, the easier it gets. Yeah. I mean, to me, it's what I really want to do right now. So now in the summer, I'm usually in Arizona. In the summer, I don't worry about the cold. It's staying cool. That's the problem. And that's one of the reasons I do like the towel system, because it absorbs any sweat, anything like that. Now, these towels, this towel and then the two that I showed underneath, they get washed every week at the laundromat. I'm a very clean person. One of you asked me, I don't want to go into this too much, but one of you asked me, well, how did oh, I know what you said. You said, well, I got the book. She goes, but I noticed on there, how do you didn't even talk about how you keep your van clean. Well, I did talk about it, but how do I clean my van? Well, that's going to be kind of hard to tell you how you should clean your van, because everybody has a different system. I don't have a build out, but if you had a build out, I said I'd talk about this. Usually a build out, let's go on this side where my dresser is here. Usually for a minivan, what somebody does for a build out is they have a platform. Either they have, like those square containers, they're plastic and you keep things in them and you can stack them on top of each other. A lot of times what they do is they put like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or 1, 2, 3, 4, and put a board over it for a platform. Or they build one. There's so many ways that you could do. You can make it out of wood. You can do it out of a PVC pipe, things like that. You get it. And then what they do is they buy like a memory foam and they put it on top. But if you want to sleep comfortably, okay, with the build out, and you can see here, it goes like this, and then it goes around in this area here where the cup holders are, then goes on. So it's really hard to make it so that it fits exactly against here, because you got it over here and then it comes out. You got to build that thing like to be comfortable. Who wants to sleep on a board that's only this, that wouldn't be fun. Or even this. For me, I've got this wide. From here's where this bin is and here's where my dresser is. I've got that much of a twin area, like a twin bed would be. I mean, I can do I'd go side to side sleeping. Yeah. So, but if you have a build out, you're going to be cleaning totally different. You're going to be pulling your bins out and you got to clean back there and stuff. So cleaning out is really, it's sort of a personal thing. My biggest thing to clean out is this area here, because I have coffee here. I have to clean out my cup holders. And I kind of wipe this down. I kind of wipe the other side down. I'll wipe down the side of my bins. But my main way that I clean my van is through my towels. Because, when you're home, you have a vacuum. I don't have that. I've tried those little hand vacuums. Let me tell you, they don't work well. No, there's not enough. The motor isn't big enough. Okay, so let me just say that. I had one once, and why am I even carrying this around? And I got rid of it. But the way I really clean is through my towels. Shake this one out every day to get the crumbs, the hair, everything out. And then I wash them once a week. That's my main thing. And then I just kind of wipe things around. I wipe things down. So that's how you would clean. And I do believe that I did talk about it. You clean yourself. And one thing is to keep yourself clean. Now, I just got a question that says, what do you do with your dirty shoes? My shoes don't really get dirty, but what do you do with your dirty shoes when you're in your van? Well, I take them off at when I sit down and I shut the door on my driver's seat, which is the only seat left in the whole van, and I take them off. I call it my atrium. And then I hop back here. I don't wear shoes back here ever. Never. Ever, ever, ever. And another way that you can keep your van clean is by keeping your hands clean. Right? I mean, you don't want to have dirty hands and you're touching everything. You got bacteria. Wipes. Yeah. Wipes, or I can get if my hands really are dirty, I can get my collapsible bucket out and put some water in there and just kind of wash them. And then dry them off with paper towels. So really keeping myself clean, because I shower every day, keeping myself clean is one way that I can keep my little home here, my little clubhouse. Yeah. Okay, so I hope that answered your question. Yes, I do like the no build out. I do not want to build out. That would be I would not have any room to do anything. I mean, I like to move around a lot in here and take a nap or whatever. So for me, I'm more of a sit on the floor kind of girl. And I really believe that it's good for me. Now, somebody else, I will say one more thing. See my knees? I've hurt my knees twice really bad over the past 8 years. One was in an Amazon warehouse. I actually tripped over something that shouldn't have been there, and I went down on my knee. I had to quit. It was so bad. And I had to recover in my van. I had a brace on, and what I had to do was move like this to keep my knee straight, right? I had to keep this, yeah, it was hard. And then I did it about 2.5 years ago. I whacked my knee really bad, and I had to have a brace on it, and it took a couple months to really heal, maybe 3 completely. But guess what? They're healed. I mean, I have no knee issues whatsoever. Now, here's a theory of mine. I'm not going to say that this is medically, they've done studies on this, but I'm going to say, because one of you said in your comment, well, that sounds really good, but you have good knees. But I couldn't do that because my knees aren't good. Now, I don't know how bad your knees are, but here's my theory. Because I am using them like this, and I'm constantly on my knees, because when I move around, I mean, I can't stand up. I'm hitting the ceiling here. I have to be on my knees. My theory is because I'm doing this, I'm strengthening my knees every day. They work. I have to keep my knees going. But because I'm using them this way, they're strengthening every day. That's my theory. You can let me know, what do you think about that? I got good knees. Thank you. Thank you for my good knees. Yeah, let's keep them good. Yeah. So, yeah, my body, am I limber? You bet I am. And not only stretching, but in many years of my life, I mean, I took ballet, I took dance. I was more of a creative, artistic kind of person, painting, dancing, exercising, filming, photography. I was into photography. So yeah, and now writing. Yeah. So that's just the kind of personality that I have, and I'm very curious. And I do like your letter, Tilly girl, because you sounded very curious. So we have a lot in common. Well, I hope you enjoyed this. There's a lot of good information for you. You do what you want. If you want to have the minivan life, if you want to have the minivan life, I think this is good information for you. I really enjoy it. I really do. You couldn't get me in a house. You couldn't get me in to live in a house. Yeah. If I did, I bet I would spend a lot of time just being in my van again. Yeah. I mean, it would be nice to have both, but, I don't have, that's not possible yet. Yet. So, yeah. I think this is a great life. I enjoy it a lot. And I hope nobody ever feels sorry for me. Please don't ever. Please don't ever. Somebody did that recently. They said, well, your children should be ashamed of themselves for having you sleep. don't put my family down like that. My children are wonderful. They know me. They know me too well. I'm very independent and I do what I want to do. I would never tell them what to do. And I didn't. Even growing up, I let them make a lot of their decisions and they would never tell me what to do. So I was not really offended, but it did, that's kind of like a little bit of a stab on my family. Don't put my children down like that. Don't do it. Don't ever. Okay, so this is it. This is it. I love you guys. If you want how to live in a minivan, the Minivan Lee way, everything's in there, even cleaning, okay? But a lot of things, I think it's intuitive. You know how to clean your van, right? You know how to clean your house, okay? But I also do have how to declutter, right? It's called the mindful space. Really good. How to organize and clean. And there is cleaning in there, so I'm going to put that one too. How to live in a minivan, the Minivan Lee way, on Amazon. The mindful space, all about decluttering and the psychology of actually cleaning, okay? Because I go into that, because I have a degree in that, okay? And it's on Amazon. So just type in Minivan Lee, and they will come up. All my books, all of them. I'm telling you, it's a lot, okay? I love you guys. Mwah. Until tomorrow. Love you.